A fresh from the oven sandwich roll can change a good sandwich into a great sandwich. Hi, I'm Steve and welcome to my kitchen. For dinner I'm going to have the ultimate ham sandwich. It won't be the ultimate ham sandwich because there's something special about the ham or the condiments. It will be the ultimate ham sandwich because I'll be using fresh from the oven ciabatta sandwich rolls. Like these. I want you to discard all your thoughts about how much work it is to make rolls. With only 10 minutes of work, I will have fresh from the oven ciabatta rolls for my ham sandwich. And this is our goal, the ultimate ham sandwich. I've set up my workspace with my utensils and my ingredients. I will be using 3 cups flour, 1½ teaspoons salt, 1/4 teaspoon instant yeast, and 12 ounces cool tap water. I'm going to start with the dry ingredients. 3 cups flour. I use the scoop and shake method for measuring flour. This recipe is very forgiving and you don't need to be exact. Next, 1½ teaspoons salt. I use everyday table salt. There are a number of no-knead recipes in which the salt varies from 1 to 2 teaspoons, depending upon your diet. I use a heaping teaspoon to get my teaspoon and a half. And 1/4 teaspoon instant yeast, sometimes referred to as bread machine yeast. Before we add the wet ingredients, I want to mix the dry ingredients to ensure the yeast and salt are evenly distributed throughout the flour. Now it's time for the wet ingredients, 12 ounces cool tap water. There. Note the dough is beginning to stick to the bowl. It means the ingredients are blended. That, my dear friends, was the hardest part about making the dough. No mixer, no kneading. All I had to do was combine the wet and dry ingredients. All we need to do now is cover the bowl with plastic wrap, leave it on the counter to proof, and Mother Nature will do the kneading for us. I'll see you in 8 hours. Dough should be proofed 8 to 24 hours, which gives you a lot of flexibility. You can make the dough in the morning and bake it for your evening meal. Or you can make the dough in the evening, bake the next morning, and have oven fresh bread for your lunch. The dough is proof for 8 hours. It's time to fold, shape, and proof the dough a second time. I've set a sheet of parchment paper about the size of my baking stone off to the side of my workspace. Next, I'll dust the workspace with flour and scrape the dough out of the bowl. Its stringy nature tells us Mother Nature has done her job. with floured hands. I'm going to lightly pat the dough to flatten and spread. Then, using a plastic bowl scraper, I'm going to fold the dough over onto itself, forming a ball. That's all you need to do. I'm going to make 6 rolls. So I'm going to cut the dough in thirds, form each into a ball, cut each ball in half, form each into a roll, and place them on the parchment paper. And they're ready to proof. I placed the dough on the parchment paper and covered it with a flour sack towel to proof. Before I leave the kitchen, I'll prep the oven. I positioned the rack to the lower part of the oven and inserted the baking stone. I do it in advance so I don't forget. I'm going to proof the dough for an hour and a half, and I want to preheat the oven for half an hour, so I'm setting the timer for 1 hour. Dough should be proofed for 1 to 2 hours, and the oven should be preheated for 30 minutes. It's been 1 hour, and I'm setting the oven to 450 degrees, and I'll be resetting the timer for an additional 30 minutes. The dough's been proofing for an hour and a half. The oven is at temperature. It's time to bake the rolls. I'm going to start by making an egg wash. 1 egg plus 1 yolk, whipped with a fork, which I'll brush on the rolls. You don't have to use an egg wash. The rolls will taste just the same. The purpose of the egg wash is to give the rolls an amber appearance. So for demonstration purposes, I'll bake 1 roll without egg wash. Just for fun, I'm going to sprinkle the tops with some sesame seeds. Next, I'll score the dough with a scissors. I found that a scissors work better than a knife. Slide the pizza paddle under the parchment paper and slide it into the oven on the baking stone. I'm setting the timer for 15 minutes. I'll see you then. It's been 15 minutes. The rolls are ready. Let's take a look. Here they are. What do you think? Look at the difference between the roll with egg wash and the one without. They'll taste the same, but the one with egg wash looks more appetizing. The rolls have cooled for 10 minutes. It's time to make the sandwich. For my sandwich, I'll be using spiral ham slices, mayonnaise, mustard of your choice, provolone cheese, lettuce, and tomatoes. Texture is an important part of flavor. For ham sandwiches, I like to use spiral sliced ham because it's not too thick or too thin. I started by sorting the pack. I have a pile of slices for sandwiches and a pile for split pea soup. We'll start by cutting the roll open. The roll is very fresh. I'll be using a small knife. Next, I'll add a generous amount of mayonnaise and a little mustard. A slice of provolone cheese, a little lettuce, a slice of tomato, and last but not least, several slices of ham. Well, what do you think? This, my dear friends, is a great sandwich, and the freshness of the bread makes it the ultimate ham sandwich. I have a variety of videos demonstrating no-knead breads as smart and easy meals. You may want to look at my YouTube channel. It's free. Just click on the channel tab above this screen.